it's good that we are having this session this week. This is also a form of Vesak celebration for us here in Kitchener-Waterloo. So first I'm going to pay my respect to the Buddha, and then we will go to our topic. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Okay, so the meaning of this recitation is I pay my respect to him who is the fully enlightened Buddha, the Blessed One, and the Worthy One, and the Enlightened One. So last few months, we have been talking about Dharma on different topics. This is a series of one topic, what we call the end of suffering. And the last month, we had this session on the dependent origination, which was a very deep discussion that we had. And today, our topic is karma and rebirth. And of course, David wants me to talk about all the key philosophy of the Buddha. And I think all these topics are related to the end of suffering. So now, the karma and rebirth, this is not a new, the topic or teaching of the Buddha. This concept, the karma and the rebirth, this concept has been there during the time of the Buddha. At that time, there were Brahmins called Brahmanism, and then Jains or Jainism, and they all were talking about karma and rebirth. So what Buddha did was, he gave a new interpretation to these concepts. Of course, first he followed the concepts prevalent at the time, and then later on, after becoming fully enlightened being, then he realized, the definition given to these terms, karma and rebirth, is not what Buddhas normally follow. And so he gave a new interpretation to the notion of karma and rebirth. At the time, people believed, now we are talking about the concept that existed today, the 2,600 years ago. And Asian spiritual traditions believe in another concept called the samsara. Samsara means the cycle of life. Endless, beginningless, the cycle of life. So when you talk about the samsara, obviously you have to talk about karma and rebirth. So now, how do we understand this notion of karma and rebirth? I would like to tell you some stories found in the teachings of the Buddha, called sutra literature. And then maybe from these stories, we can understand what does it mean, the karma, and how do we understand this notion of rebirth. Of course, in the Western world, these concepts are very new. And Western spiritual traditions do not talk about the rebirth or reincarnation. So in the Eastern spiritual traditions, talk about the rebirth, and once you talk about the rebirth, which is cycle of life, and then you have to talk about the notion of karma, concept of karma. So now, one day, a householder came to see the Buddha. And he said, Lord, there are Brahmins who are specialized in the performance of fire. And they have deep knowledge, and they help people, especially those who die. After they are dead, they lift them up to the heaven. They help you to go to heaven. So, Lord, you are a fully enlightened being, and I think you can do a good job, much better than these Brahmins who are not enlightened. Once people die, you also help them to go to heaven. You just perform the fire rituals, and then you lift them up to the heaven. So once you do this, all the people in this region or in this nation will follow your teachings. Then the Buddha said, householder, let me tell you something, ask you some questions, and then you reply to me as it fits. So now, there is this person that he is doing the killing, he is stealing, he is engaging in sexual misconduct, he is lying, doing the abusive speech, doing the divisive speech, doing the gossips, and he holds on to anger, he is greedy, and he holds on to wrong views. Now, when this person continues doing all these actions, now then you and all the people around, the people of this kingdom, go to this person, and knowing that he has been doing all these unwholesome deeds, bad deeds, now you want to pray for him. Oh, please let him go to heaven. Please, let us pray together. Let's help him to go to Brahma world and all these heavenly worlds. And now, our wishes, our prayers, will it help this person who has been doing all these negative actions to go to the heaven? Then this householder said, no. Then Buddha gives a simile. What is this simile? Now imagine you throw a huge boulder, the rock, into the water in a lake. Now the people gather at the lake, and they all are praying to the lake. Oh, please let this big rock, big boulder come onto the surface. Although we all continue wishing, praying, will it come out? Will it come onto the surface of the water? Then this householder said, no. So then the Buddha continues. He said, now imagine this person who is not doing killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, divisive speech, abusive speech, gossip. He doesn't hold on to anger. He's not greedy. He doesn't hold on to the wrong views. And when this person continues doing all the good work, and after his death, when all people gather around and keep praying for him, let him go to hell, let him go to bad place, will it help him to, our prayer, will it help him to go to hell? Then this householder said, no. Why? Because he has been doing all the good work. So then the Buddha gives another simile. He said, now imagine you throw some oil or ghee into the water. Now, of course, the ghee and the oil remaining on the surface of the water. And when you pray or wishing that let this ghee and oil go into the ocean bed or sink in the water, and will it happen? Then this householder said, no. So the Buddha said, in the same way, no matter how people make a wish, no matter what kind of rituals they do, no matter how long they continue praying, it is the karma of the people that really matters here. So the rebirth in the heavenly world, or in the human world, or in the hells or animal world, depends on what we are doing right here in this lifetime. So although we wish for you, let's say you're doing all the bad things, now we go and chant for you, pray for you, wishing divine world for you, but then it's not going to work out. Why? Because you know what you have been doing. So the rebirth takes place on what we are doing, the karma. Now, there is another story. There were two ascetics, and these ascetics were doing ascetic practices for many years. And these ascetics are known as the dog duty ascetic and the cow duty ascetic. Now, what does it mean? These ascetics believed when you do everything like a dog, that will help you to go to heaven. That will help you to achieve your liberation. And the ox duty ascetic believe that when you do everything like an ox or cow, that will help you to go gain liberation or go to heaven. So with this belief, they have been doing these practices for a long time. So maybe now they are at 70s or 80s. They develop kind of doubt about their own practice. And one day they were having this discussion. Look, my friends, both of us, we have been practicing this path for a long time. Do you think you have accomplished your goal? So when they were having this conversation, they realized they haven't achieved anything. Then they developed this fear. My goodness, we are at the last stage of our life. Now what can we do? So they said, there is this Buddha who's living nearby. We heard that he's enlightened, he's awakened, he knows, he has good knowledge, he's liberated. Why don't we go to him and ask him this question, whether we have accomplished our goal or not? So then, with this intention in mind, both ascetics went to see the Buddha. And there, they exchanged the greetings, and they set aside. And then the dog duty ascetic asked a question about his friend, the ox duty ascetic. So, Lord, my friend, the ox duty ascetic, has been practicing this ritual for a long time. Now, what could be his final destination? What kind of rebirth will he have in the future? Then the Buddha said, look, my friend, don't ask me this question. If you ask me this question, as a Buddha, I have to tell the truth. But don't ask me this question. But then the dog-eared ascetic, said, it's okay. I am asking this question because I want to know about my friend's future. Second time, Buddha refused. The third time I asked the same question, Buddha refused third time too. When he kept asking the same question over and over again, then the Buddha said, look, now I have to tell you the truth. Now, your friend, the ox duty ascetic, has been practicing this ritual for a long time. Now, do you know what happened? By doing this practice, he has developed what we call the ox habit, ox behavior, ox attitude, and the ox mind. 4 things. Ox habit, ox behavior, ox attitude, and ox mind. Now, what do you think? What kind of future or life will he have? If he developed all these 4, the habits, behavior, attitude, and mind, like an ox, of course, it's a wrong view, first of all. In the name of liberation, vimukti, he has been practicing the ox ritual. It's a wrong view. Because of this wrong view, he is going to go to hell, he said. Or if he doesn't go to hell, if he, after the hell, when he gets free from there, the hell, then he will go to the animal kingdom. He will be reborn as the ox. Why? Because all he did was developing the ox habit, ox behavior, ox attitude, and ox mind. Then the ox-duty ascetic started crying. My goodness, what did I do? I think I wasted my life. I wanted liberation, but I developed a mind of the ox. Now this is what I'm going to be. So then the Buddha said, look, I told you, I warned you not to ask me this question. But then this ox-duty ascetic said, it's not because, I'm crying not because of my, I'm going to be the ox in the future, but my friend practiced the dog duty asceticism. Now, Lord, I would like to know what kind of future will he have. Okay. So then again the Buddha said, please don't ask me this question. Then he kept asking this question after 3 times. After the 3 times, the Buddha said, now let me tell the truth. Again, the Buddha said, look, your friend, the dog duty ascetic, for many years, by practicing dog rituals, all he did was developing the dog habit, dog behavior, dog attitude, and dog mind. So what do you expect of him? By practicing all this, the dog habit, dog behavior, dog mind, dog attitude. It's a wrong view. And after death, he's going to be reborn in the hell. And when he becomes free from hell, when he will go back to the animal kingdom, in the animal kingdom, he will be reborn as a dog. So there, actually Buddha, after telling this story, he is teaching some for some steps of about the karma. He said, there is dark karma with a dark result. There's a bad karma with the bad result. And there is both bright and dark karma with the both bright and dark result. And then fourth one, neither dark nor bright karma with neither bright nor dark result. There are 4 types. Did you understand these 4? The first one, let's say, dark karma with dark result. You got it. Second one, bright karma with a bright result. Third one is both dark and bright karma with dark and bright result. And the fourth one, neither dark karma nor bright karma with neither bright karma nor dark result. So these are the 4 steps. First 2 are very easy to understand, right? It's like when we say the dark karma, these are the bad karma, bad actions, right? So what are the bad actions? Taking life is a bad action. Stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, abusive speech, divisive speech, gossip, greed, anger, and wrong view. So because of greed, anger, and the wrong way, these are mental. These are called mental actions. That's called physical action, verbal action, and the mental action. So physical bad actions are taking life, stealing, and sexual misconduct. These are three. And there are four verbal actions, the bad actions. Lying, speaking bad words, speaking words to divide people, to destroy the harmony, and then engaging in gossip. And then three mental actions, those are greed, anger, and the wrong view. So when you engage in these are known as the dark actions, bad deeds. All these actions are going to create, though you like or not. This is a natural law. You don't need a Buddha or God or prophet or messenger or Messiah to punish you. These are natural actions, natural rewards. So when people do these negative actions, there will be negative results. So that's what Buddha said, dark karma with a dark result. And then, second one, bright action with bright result. So good deeds, good karma, you do good karma, and then there will be good results. So when you train yourself with the wholesome actions, again, there are 10 wholesome actions, 3 verbal, 3 physical, 4 verbal, and 3 mental. Like, the opposite of those 10 unwholesome actions. And when you continue doing these good karma, good actions, bright deeds, there will be bright results, good results. And then there are people in the society, they do both, good and bad. Right? Good and bad. So when they do good and bad deeds, actions, there will be good and bad results in that person's life. And then the fourth one is, this is actually an action of an enlightened being. The enlightened being does not engage in any bad or good actions. They are pure. They do good deeds, but since they are liberated, since they are free from the cycle of life, there is no time to produce results for their own actions. They are free. So now imagine you train yourself neither to do good nor to do bad, and then there will be such results. Neither good nor bad results. So for this, we need to practice the dharma. In fact, this is how, by practicing dharma, you liberate yourself from this cycle of life. Now, all these actions are going to produce, good or bad actions are going to produce results. They will push you to continue to be part of this samsara, the cycle of life. Now, Buddha said that he clearly saw this. When he became enlightened, he said he gained 3 special knowledge. The first knowledge is it's a special recollection. He got the knowledge of seeing his own past lives. How he was born, to what parents, what name he was given, how he was brought up, and how he lived, and what kind of people he encountered, and how he died, and from there where he went to. So, and like that, he was able to see his own past lives. This is known as in Pali we say, Pubbe Nivasanusati Jnana. Jnana means to know, to see. Pubbe means the past. Nivasanu, like how he lived. So this is a type of deep knowledge he gained through the practice of meditation. And there's a way to see your own past life if you really want to see your own past life. And then, second type of knowledge is called Chutupapata Jnana. Chuta means to die, death. Upapata means the birth. So this is the knowledge about seeing the births and deaths of sentient beings according to their own karmic actions. Then he saw that those who did good karma, good deeds, where they went to, and those who did bad karma, where they went to. So he was clearly able to see the births and deaths of all sentient beings. And then, third, a special knowledge is called Asavakkhaya Jnana. It's a knowledge and wisdom with respect to the destruction of the taints. There are some taints, the deep taints remain in a subtle level that keep every sentient being in this cycle of life. There are 3 of them. It's called karma. Karma means the sensual, taint of sensual desire. Karma asava. And then bhava asava, the taint of existence. Avidya asava, taint of ignorance. So sensual pleasure, taint of sensual pleasure, taint of existence, taint of ignorance. These are the 3 taints that keep us get going in this cycle of life, in addition to other defilements. So what Buddha realized was, now I see what's keeping me in the cycle of life, And then he saw that these are the three major trends keeping the sentient beings in this cycle of life. Let me remove these trends from my mind. And so then through the practice of meditation, through the insight meditation, vipassana meditation, he was able to slowly and slowly remove all these trends from his mind, making his mind completely pure. And when he did that, he became completely free. He gained the release from this cycle of life. Now, in another sutra, actually these are some the verses that we come across in a famous Buddhist text book called Dhammapada. There he says, again in Pali, because I always like to refer to Pali because these are the original teachings, right? It's called Aneka Jati Sangsarang Sandha Visang Anibhisang. So, monks, I have been traveling through this samsara, the cycle of life. I have been traveling in this cycle of life. He was traveling with the intention, a vision in mind. His vision is to find the Creator. Called Gahakarakang Gavisanto. I have been searching for this Creator who is doing all this work, keeping us in the cycle of life. And then, as he was searching for this Creator, he said, I could not find him for a long time, although I was searching for him. Then he got a first-hand experience. What is his experience? He said, Dukkha Jati Punapunang. Rebirth over and over again, being born in this cycle of life again and again is really painful. It's really painful. Now, being reborn in the human world or heavenly world or animal world or world of the ghosts, all this, he said it's painful. Why? People are born, then they die. And they die, they are born again. So this cycle continues. But although he was searching for the builder, the Creator, for a long time, after a long time, then he says, I found him. Gahakarka Dittosi. That means I found him. I got him now. Punna Gehang Nakahasi. He said, now the Creator is seen. Hereafter, I will not let this Creator to create this life. Punna Gehang Nakahasi. Sabbhate Phasuka Bhaga. He says, now I have destroyed all the functions of this creator. Like whatever strengths this creator has, all those strengths have been removed, destroyed. Gahakutang visankitang. Visankargatang chittang tanhanang kaimajaga. That means now he realized one thing. Now what is the strength of this creator to keep us in this cycle of life? That strength is called tanha. Craving, desire. Craving, desire. Now, this is an emotional action. It's an emotion. Tanha, craving, desire is an emotion. Based on this emotional action, people continue doing a lot of things, good or bad karma. Now, when you analyze, examine your own actions, let's say if you have a tendency of hurting someone, taking someone else's life, now what kind of emotion involved in it, in that action? There is something. Every action is based on a particular emotion. Maybe you are angry. It's because of this anger or hatred, or maybe greed, craving, desire. And because of these emotions, maybe you feel like hurting someone, killing someone. Or same thing with the stealing. Same thing with the sexual misconduct. Same thing with the lying. All this divisive speech, abusive speech, gossip, and all this. Maybe it's the wrong view. Because of the wrong view, you think it's okay to do this. Maybe you have tremendous anger. Maybe you have greed, craving, desire. And because of these emotions, we all feel like doing negative actions. And also maybe because of some positive emotions, we do positive actions. Both karma, both type of karma, good or bad, they make us keep going in this cycle of life incessantly, non-stop. Really love yourself. Do good. This is why there is a famous stanza, again found in the Dhammapada. It's called, to summarize the entire teaching of the Buddha, the whole philosophy of the Buddha, to find the essence of Buddhist philosophy, we can summarize this teaching into 3 sentences. The first sentence is, we call sabba papassa akaranang. That means don't do bad deeds or avoid doing bad things. Second step, kusalassa upasampada. That means do good. Do good. The sachitta pariyo dapanang. Then meditate to purify your mind. Meditate to purify your mind. Etang buddhana sasanang. This is the teaching. This is the instruction of the Buddha. Now, these three teachings are very interesting. When he says, don't do bad things. By the way, we human beings have this natural tendency to do bad things. Though you like it or not, you have this tendency to do bad things. It has a, now it's pretty interesting to see how neuroscientists are talking about now, about this aspect. It's actually not you. It is your, a type of brain called the Velcro. Velcro brain is making you do the bad things. Do you know why? Velcro brain enjoys doing bad things. Neuroscientists are saying this brain is primitive, undeveloped. That's why, we do the bad things, although our parents, our teachers taught us not to do them. But when we get an opportunity, we do it. Now why? It is built in the system called the Velcro brain. But that is very powerful. That brain is very powerful. Buddha knew this in his meditation. And that's why he encouraged everyone to do good deeds, good karma. Kusala supasampada. Do good. If you really love yourself, do good. If you're concerned about your well-being, your happiness, your joy, your peace, freedom from suffering, then do good. This is why the Buddhists follow the 5 precepts. There are 5 precepts to be followed by every Buddhist, like every day. First precept is to refrain from taking life of sentient beings. Second precept, to refrain from stealing. Third precept, to refrain from sexual misconduct. Fourth precept, to refrain from lying. Fifth precept, to refrain from consuming alcohol and drugs. These are the 5 precepts that every Buddhist has to follow. And of course, it's a challenge when you when you live in a society, sometimes you may be breaking 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, all 5 precepts. That's why in Buddhist uh, programs. We begin the program, the service, by observing the 5 precepts. People have to renew the precepts. So now, we follow these precepts. Of course, it helps, first of all, to refrain from the negative actions, negative deeds, dark actions, and it helps us to do the positive deeds, positive actions, bright actions, good karma. And then as we continue practicing the precepts, of course, it is the mind that makes us do all the negative actions. Why? Mind is full of all the defilements. Mind is tainted with anger, greed, jealousy, pride, conceit, and desire and craving, all this. So now, to purify the mind, we need to practice meditation. When you practice meditation, it is a way of helping another brain called Teflon brain to become active and powerful. So when you continue practicing the 5 precepts, then it helps you to secure your rebirth in the heavenly world. Now, if you think that just through the prayers and someone or all the people who love me are going to pray for me, they are going to wish happy rebirth to me in the heavenly world. But with this, if I continue doing all the bad things, then it's not going to help me, because I know what I have done. You can't lie to yourself. So that's why we need to learn to purify our mind. It's very important to understand. So then the rebirth, of course, people have no clue about this. But personally, I believe, this is my experience and understanding. I had been a monk in my past life. Now, how so? From my childhood, the temple, the monks, and all the rituals in the monastery, everything looked so familiar to me. And I was, our house is also close to the temple. Every day I go to the temple, clean the shrine room, and sweep the outside the temple and clean the temple environment. And I would do all this, and I would do the chanting with my parents. Every time my parents go to the temple, I would join them. And when I became a novice monk at the age of 10, I was actually very happy. Although it was kind of the cultural practice to become a monk for a short time, but I remained as a monk. And I have been a monk for many years. And so even right now, everything is looking so familiar to me. Now, there is a famous psychologist and scientist called Professor Ian Stevenson, the professor of psychology at the Virginia University. He has been doing a lot of research into child prodigies, and he has written some books, and these books are full of stories. There is a story about an English woman. She has a healing power. Now, there was a person who was suffering from migraine headache. He has been going to different doctors, but nothing happened to him. He was suffering from this migraine headache. Then he heard about this lady who has the healing power. So he went to see her. Then this lady just put her right hand onto his head, and immediately the migraine headache was gone. And after that, he did not suffer from migraine headache. So he was very grateful to her. And now he really wanted to know how she developed such a healing power. Then he started doing some research or observing all the activities she would do. And he talked to some psychologists and some scientists. And then there was a scientist who wanted to hypnotize her to see what she does, what she says in that hypnotic state. So the scientist hypnotized her, and now this is an English woman. In hypnotic state, she started talking in a different language, not in English. So they recorded the conversation, whatever she was saying, and then later on, they realized she was speaking in Japanese. So now they wanted to know what is she saying in Japanese. So then they went to the Japanese embassy and asked them to listen to this woman's whatever she was saying and to translate. So the Japanese people translated. They said she was talking about her experience in her past life. That is, she was going to a monastery every day to clean the shrine room. After cleaning the shrine room, she would make a wish. What kind of wish? I have done good karma by cleaning the shrine room, cleaning the temple. That by the power of this act of good work, may I gain, healing powers to bring healings to those who are suffering from different pains. So with that wish, that intention, every day she would go to the temple and she would just clean. And then, of course, by doing that, she died. So in this lifetime, she was reborn as an English woman in England. And then she got this healing power, the healing hands. So the story ends there. Now in the Eastern spiritual traditions, the notion of samsara and the rebirth is not a difficult thing for people to understand. People believe that there is an afterlife. Our life continues. Our life continues based on our own actions. All we have to understand, now in this lifetime, let's say we are human beings. As human beings, what kind of habit are we developing? How are we behaving? And what kind of attitude are we developing? And what kind of mind are we developing? Now, if you are developing a human habit, human behavior, human attitude, and human mind, and after death, what are you going to be? A human being. And if you develop the divine habit, divine behavior, divine attitude, divine mind, what are you going to be? Divine. But if you develop an animal habit, animal behavior, animal attitude, animal mind, an animal. It's not a difficult thing to understand. This is why I think every religion, every religious leader encouraged social beings to refrain from doing bad things. They encourage to do good things. You can see this in every religion. It's not just Buddhism. But Buddhism goes beyond that. When you do good and bad, these two will push you in the cycle of life. But to gain release from the cycle of life, then you have to learn to purify your mind. To do so, you have to meditate. So there are 10 unwholesome actions and 10 wholesome actions. 10 unwholesome actions are those 10 that I already mentioned. 10 wholesome actions are just the opposite of them. So now, if you want to be happy, if you're concerned about your happiness, then you have to train yourself to do the 10 wholesome actions. When you do 10 wholesome actions, your good life is guaranteed in this lifetime, and also your rebirth in the heavenly world is guaranteed. Now, I don't think anyone wants to go to hell. Nobody wants to go to hell. Everyone's desire is to go to the divine world. If so, then we have to do good deeds, good karma, and especially there are three things to cultivate. You say dana. You need to practice giving. And second thing is sila. That is morality. Morality is all about good behavior. And then bhavana, meditation, called dana, sila, bhavana. Giving, morality, meditation. And if you can help yourself to cultivate these three positive steps, then your heavenly world is guaranteed. And when you continue doing these three, it will help you to gain release from this cycle of life. So this is just the essence of the karma rebirth that I was talking about. So now if you have questions, we can discuss.
So we're going to have a little brief break. People can stretch their legs or whatever, go to the washroom.
That's right, yeah.
Minutes.
Yeah.
Did you want to shall we do the meditation first or question and answer first? Maybe question and answer first?
Question and answer first, yeah.
And one question
Others I know if you have some questions, you can have good meditation.
Does bhavana have a broader meaning of like mental culture?
Yeah.
As opposed to specifically meditation, but mental culture in general, mental development.
Yeah. So bhavana is actually, it's a mental culture, mental development. In other words, that bhavana is all about purifying our mind. That is what we do. So these three are the must practice. Yeah. Okay, so you can take 5 minutes.
Stretch the legs.
Yeah.
And,
Buddha taught us, the monks, to reflect on 5 subjects daily. And one of them is called Kamma Sakomhi. I am the owner of my own karma. Kamma Dayado. I have inherited karma. Kamma Yoni. I am born out of karma. Kamma Bandhu. Karma is my relative, my friend. Karma Patisanana. Karma is my refuge, my shelter. Yang Kammang Karissami. Kailanangva Papakangva. Whatever karma I do, good or bad, Tassa Dayadu Bhavissamiti. And I will be the owner of that karma, all this karma. Abhinham Pachavikitabang. These subjects, this thing must be reflected every day. So, let's say if you have everything. In fact, I think in this part of in this country, I always tell young people, students, we are so fortunate to have this life. We all are privileged people. We have everything we need. We have a house to live. Paying the mortgage is a different story, but we have a house. We have something to eat. And we have a wonderful society and nation free from social unrest, political unrest, right? And here we have a good place. Like the school system is wonderful. But in most countries, especially third world countries, they don't have these privileges. But we are so fortunate. Even last week, as I was going downtown, I was taking the exit at Spadina from Gardeners. And then that, when you, I don't know whether you drive in downtown, when you take the exit at Spadina, that corner, there are some people, right? There are people homeless, they are going around to every car asking for something. Yeah. Now, my friend asked me, Bhante, so what do you think about this? And I said, this is not a country where we should have the homeless people, because this is such a rich and wealthy nation. You have everything. Even the government is trying to help them to live a good life, but still they can live such a good life. Then my friend asked me, so Bhante, what do you think? What is the reason? Well, that I gave a typical reason that normally Buddhists believe. These are the people, although they had everything, these are the people who never practice giving. If you haven't practiced giving, you're not going to get anything. So, like here, I know during the winter season, winter time, the city people come and take them to shelters. But these people don't live there. They come out and they sleep on the streets. Like, it's because, something is blocking. Something is blocking. It can be the God's will, because God is, as is, kind, compassionate. A kind and compassionate being can let this happen. But this is, something coming from the past. Even here, I have a lot of stories to tell, I have been doing soup kitchen for many years with the temple youth group. We would go downtown to Good Shepherd Center, and we would provide food for 500 homeless people. And we would make the food, and we would serve them. So one day, as we were serving the meal, there was a homeless person. There actually, it was house full, a lot of homeless people. And one person called me like this. So I thought he wanted some bananas, because homeless people love bananas, So every time we go there, we take some extra boxes of bananas. So I took some bananas, and I was about to give him like this. He said, no, can I talk to you? I said, yes. So I sat down. So I saw, his eyes were full of tears. I said, it's okay, I'm here, we can talk. And then he said, while I'm crying, seeing all these young people reminded me of my own children. I said, what happened? Then he said, he's from New York. So you are here in Toronto? Then he said, homeless life in New York is tough. Homeless life in Toronto is good, he said. So he came down here. So I said, what kind of life did you have? He was quiet for 2-3 minutes, and then he took a deep breath, and he said, I was a privileged person. What kind of privileged person? He said he was an anthropology professor at the Columbia University. An anthropology professor ended up in the streets of Toronto as a homeless person. I said, what happened? Again, he was into an extra marital affairs. And then he got caught. There was some, hard times. The wife filed a divorce case, and then they got divorced. And then he was not able to take care of the house. He was kind of negligent. And then he lost the house, he lost the wife, he lost the kids, and he lost the job. Now he has no place to go except the street. So then, of course, I gave him some comforting words. I said, okay, everything will be fine. Now you know what happened. I strongly believe you can rebuild your life. So just be patient. Now, rebuilding your life is based on what you're doing right now. So you have to now start loving yourself. So again, I shared those 4 things: habit, behavior, attitude, and mind. Right? So from this story is revealing many things about us. Now, here's a person who had everything, he was enjoying, and suddenly he lost everything. Of course, there's something about this in this lifetime because of his behavior. And above all, is this something that blocked him from the past life, or whatever karma he did in the past life. So now, there are a lot of people, who are suffering from not having enough, losing everything. And at the same time, we see there are people, although they have been suffering at the beginning of their life, later on, they are really enjoying a privileged life. So now karma is actually, what we have to understand is the emotion that karma in reality, in essence, is an emotion. Now what kind of action are you doing with what kind of emotion? And if you can understand this, that will help you to change your life, your action. Because of not understanding this, people don't know what to do. They think they are doing the right thing, but they are ending up doing the bad things. So all these actions, that's why every action has a reaction, whatever we are doing. For this, actually, we don't need a religion. Take us as human beings. As human beings, what am I doing? Am I doing the wrong thing, or am I doing the right thing? If I'm doing the right thing will happen in my life. Everything will be okay. But if I'm doing the wrong thing, my life will be a kind of mess. So that's why we need to develop sati, mindfulness, to be mindful of this aspect. Like, as you said, we need to be mindful of this. I am the owner of my own karma, good or bad. When I do good karma, although my enemies wish suffering to me, my life is not going to be full of suffering. Why? Because I am doing the good things. Right? Yeah. So any questions? Any other?
There's the idea, it's like,
Yeah.
There's no permanent state of any kind. It's like you're getting into like negative situation circumstances, which then might also change when he graduates from those to some other favorable state.
Yeah.
But it's a continuous thing. It's not a static, like you're just stuck in one place necessarily. So it's unlike the Christian view, which is like you die, you got two choices,
Yeah.
You either go to hell, you're staying there forever. You go to heaven, you're staying there forever.
Yeah.
And you're stuck.
Yeah, when we talk about the Buddhist cosmology, no life is permanent. Even in the heavenly world, life is not permanent. You may have a long life there, but once your good karma is over, you have to get back. Either you have to get back to human world, or you're going to go back lower than the human world. This is what Buddha said. It's not permanent. Nothing is permanent. Life as human being is not permanent. Life as a divine being is not permanent. Life as an animal is not permanent. Life in the hell is not permanent. Right? So you can liberate. So it's like,
Going on vacation, going to detention.
Yeah. Yes.
Is it true that the Buddha said that being born as a human is a privilege in itself, because as a human we can do a lot more good actions towards animals, fellow human beings, as opposed to be born in another state?
Yes, you're right. Being reborn as a human being is a privileged life. And also, to be reborn as a human being is a difficult thing. It's a very difficult task. Buddha gives a warning. Now imagine you go to the animal kingdom, then it will be difficult for you to get rid of that animal habit, animal behavior. So, being reborn as a human being, you can do a lot of things. Even to become enlightened, you need to be a human being. To do all these good things, you need to be a human being. Do you think that animals can help others? Animals can do good things?
Well, they can. Apparently dolphins save a human from being eaten by a shark, for example, as swimming.
Yeah, there are some developed consciousness in particular species, but again, the dolphin consciousness, of course, is far advanced than other species, other animals, but it doesn't mean, of course, dolphin life is an animal? Dolphin? Mammal, right? It's not an animal. It's an animal. Mammal. Right?
Service dogs.
Huh?
Service dogs.
Service dogs. Again, you have to train them. Right? You have to train them. Again, it's like, even there are people who, they train the lions, or tigers, or bears, or dogs, or even monkeys, right? Or gorillas. Just yesterday, I saw a little video clip. This is in Thailand. How gorillas are doing the what do you call the wrestling? Wrestling, yeah. Huh? Yeah, and the wrestling also like boxing. Yeah. So you can train them. But again, there are things like when you have the circus, right? In a show. This how tigers, although they are trained, suddenly they attack, right? So anyways, life in the animal world is tough because they always live with fear. They live in fear all the time because they know they're vulnerable. Even as human beings, we also feel the same. But then we understand. We understand, and so we can rationalize. But the animals can't rationalize. And imagine the life in the hell is very painful. And you can see the hell life even on earth among the human beings, how tough life they are living. So, in essence, what you have to understand is, with this understanding, if you can train yourself to do good, and then life as a human being is guaranteed. You don't have to wish for it. Just believe you're a human being, develop the human behavior, that's all. Human behavior, human habit, human mind, and human attitude. And then continue doing all this good work. Yeah.
So if someone is dealing with suffering from like a past life experience in their current life, would them changing their actions in the current life situation change their karma in this life experience?
Yeah. Actually, everything is not karma. There is karma, but karma can be changed. What happens is that it depends on how you measure things, the weight, put in the weight. Let's say when you have this, it doesn't mean it's completely gone, but you're adding good. Good is, when you keep doing good, it goes up, 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 right? And due to lack of understanding and knowledge or unmindfulness, now imagine one day you stop doing the good. Then what will happen? The good part is going to go down slowly and slowly. And when you do the bad things, bad deeds, it's going to be added here. And then it's going to go up, 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 up. This is going down, down, down. And when the bad goes up, life is going to be miserable, right? So the only way to get rid of all the negative actions or bad actions, because these two, good and bad, they will continue to be there for you, depending on the weight of the good or bad karma. So this is why we practice meditation to purify our mind. Because all these actions are done because of those emotions, taints, defilements. So the negative emotions that defile our mind. And once you purify your mind, then you're going to, you're not going to go give an emotional reaction to whatever is happening. Now all these good or bad things that we are doing is because of the emotional reaction we are giving to the actions taking place in the environment. So there is one aspect of observation that we have to understand. Of course, let's say you're angry with someone. Now, naturally, because we are not enlightened yet, we feel like giving an angry reaction. instead of giving an angry reaction, instead of, let's say, I'm angry with you, instead of looking at you, I have to train myself to look at myself, how am I reacting to you? If I know that, I am reacting to her with this anger. So the moment you become aware, then you know my behavior begins to change. But most of the time people don't know this, so then they just do tit for tat, keep doing all this every day. And so it's adding karma there. So there is the basket of good karma, the basket of bad karma. So now there are people who are adding, things into bad karma every day. There are people who are adding the things to the good karma every day. And there is another basket, is both good and bad, right? So we just keep adding into that basket. So now all this, going to produce results. That's why there is another teaching it's called Kamma Vipaka Vattanti. In this world, there are two things are seen: karma and the result, the consequences, right? Vipako Kamma Sambhavu. The consequences become the next karma, right? You see, when you have anger, this emotion is going to lead to some actions. Unless you control it, unless you remove it from your mind. Tasma punah bhavo hoti. Therefore, this rebirth, reincarnation, continues to be. Evam loko bhavate. This is how the world cycle of life continues to be. So you can change. Let's say your life is, let's say, miserable right now, right? Now you have to understand why my life is miserable, right? And then you know, okay, it's because of my attitude. Maybe it's my behavior. It's because of my habit. Okay, let me change the habit, behavior, mind, and attitude. Then guess what? Your life is going to be whole soon. It's going to be changed. So changing can be done only by you, no one else. That's why Buddha put the emphasis on you are the owner of your own karma. You are responsible for your own actions. That's why when people get into troubles, fights, we encourage people to forgive, to forget, right? Not to emotionally react to that person. So this has to be done only through the wisdom. You need wisdom to do this. Otherwise, you can't do it. Yeah. So everything is not karma. That's why we say there are multiple causes, multiple reasons. Although there's bad karma can be changed by doing good karma. But it doesn't mean bad karma is completely gone. It's there, right? It's there. But once you stop doing the good karma, the bad karma is going to come up and make your life miserable. Yeah.
Is there a limit to how much bad or good karma you can have, or does it just keep adding up?
There is no limit. The limit depends on you, right? Actually, that's a very interesting question that you asked me. The limit depends on you. It depends on your choice. So if you choose to do bad karma limitlessly, then it will be limitless bad karma. And if you choose to do good only, it will be limitless good karma. Right? Yeah. So there's no limit. Limit depends on you. So that's why you need to take charge of your life. Right? So, like, you have an option. When you do something, or you feel like doing something, should I do this or should I not? Right? So, then I understand, I'm going to refrain from doing this because it's bad. I know it's going to cause me troubles. Some kids do that, and they refrain from doing bad karma. But first, you need to understand, you need to have this knowledge. Once you have the knowledge about this, then you know what to do. Then limit will depend on you. You are in charge. Got it? Yeah. I see we should do some meditation then. What time is it?
It is, it's 4:02, so we
I
we were finished at 4, but let's do a guided meditation now. And one thing I wanted to say, referring back to your early story of the man at Columbia University now on the street, and then, and seeing the street people and your friend asking, why is this? And your response was, well, obviously they didn't, a lack of giving in the past, and this is manifested now as having nothing. And I remember I think it was a monk told me we consider that someone who's beautiful, like who has physically beautiful in this life, they must have done many beautiful deeds in the past life, and they get a beautiful countenance. Or someone who develops a lot of wealth in this life, they have, although the usual idea is these wealthy people, they are greedy or whatever. Correct me if I'm wrong, but a Buddhist perspective would be they have wealth in this life because they did a lot of giving in past lives, so now in this life it manifests as abundance for them.
Yeah. Well, there is another sutra about it. I think if I go into that, I might need another half an hour, 1 hour. So there is just to make it very short, a young man observed all these differences in the society. There are some people who are rich, there are some people who are very poor, there are some people who are very educated, some people are not, there are some people who are very handsome, beautiful, there are some people who are not, there are some people who belong to high caste, hierarchy, some people belong to lower caste, and he observed all these differences in the society. So then he went to see the Buddha, and he explained, he told the Buddha about his observation. He said, what is the reason, what is the cause behind this division in the society? Then the Buddha used a very powerful sentence, again in Pali. It's a kammang satte vibhajate. It is the karma that divides people into all this. So I think if we are rich, that's because we have practice given. We have shared whatever we had. If we are beautiful, handsome, that's because we have done beautiful things, right? So, and if we are educated, it's because we have gained education, knowledge, at the same time we have shared with others. And if we have not practice given, then we are going to be poor, suffer from poverty. So it is this karma that divides people. So if you want to read that sutra, actually, there's a site called accesstoinsight.org. That site has a lot of translations of Buddhist sutras, and there are also subjects. Under the subject, you just click, let's say K, go into K, and then look for the word karma. And it has listed all the sutras about all the subjects. Then you will know what to do. Just go and read these books or sutras or articles by different monks and nuns, and it will give you more understanding about this subject.
Can you just repeat that website?
Access to Insight. Access to insight.org. Yeah, yeah. Okay, let us do a little meditation, maybe 5 minutes. Yeah, okay. Okay, so now you can take a comfortable sitting posture. And slowly and gently close your eyes. Now take a deep breath and relax. As you relax, put aside emotional baggage from the past and future. Be in the present moment. Be right here now with yourself. And choose to be ingoing and outgoing breath. Bring your full attention to the ingoing and outgoing breath. See whether you can notice and feel the breath going in and going out. So breathe in, breathe out, mindfully, and relax. Breath could be short, it could be long. Whatever the breath pattern is, just notice it as it is. Follow the breath all the way in, all the way out. And relax. As you breathe in, breathe out, be kind to yourself. Embrace yourself with kindness. Breathe in, breathe out. Now, mindfully, remind yourself, may I be well, may I be happy, may I be peaceful. And feel the wellness, happiness and peace right in this moment. See how happy you are, how peaceful you are. Be the peace, be the happiness. Now, take a deep breath and relax. Now, slowly and gently, open your eyes. Okay, so I'm going to do a little blessing chanting in Pali. So you can just listen to this little chanting with a very happy and peaceful mind. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada sati bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sati bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sati bhavantu te. May you be well, may you be happy, may you be peaceful, may you be free from all sufferings and pains, may no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. Finally, may you all experience the happiness, the bliss of Nibbana. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming out.
Yeah.
We'll see you again, Bhante, in about 1 month.
Oh, Oh, I was good that you reminded me.
You got to
Next month, actually that, I think it's June 10th, right?
I think so.
Yeah, June 10th, I'm going to Winnipeg. Actually, I was going to go around 6 o'clock, and then they booked me my ticket on 2.
2?
Yeah,
So we'll talk about rescheduling the day.
yeah. So maybe 24th. How about 24th? And after following weekend, I'm having a big conference. And how about June 24th?
June 24th is fine.
Yeah, I
And
think
then
we.
afterwards, he's going to do a yin yoga class.
Yeah.
He'll do some meditation, and then I'll teach a yin class. So it'll be a special yin yoga class, which will be interesting.
Why don't we take a group picture? I love pictures, yeah.
If you want to take a selfie with him, he's down.
Prasanth, can you take a picture, please?
A reminder as you leave, if you are motivated to do so, there's the red donation jar outside the door.
Yeah. You can come here with me. Yeah. Do you think we need more light?
We could,
Yeah.
I can put more light.
You're short in the front, right? It's not me. Oh, you're little. No, you're little. You need to. Oh, you can see you with your bad hair. Forward. I'm a giant.
That's right, yeah.